Hi, I'm Clemens, and this is episode 7 of Life in Lists of 30. I love writing lists of 30, and today I wanted to share 30 ways to get cryptocurrency exposure. Before I dive in, a small disclaimer that I do work for a cryptocurrency-related software company called Consensus, and my opinions here do not represent views from my employer or count as any general investment advice. I wrote this list initially to help enterprise private banking clients think about how they can diversify into these new digital assets. I made some predictions earlier this year that gave the case that cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Ethereum will be great long-term investments because their code and integration is fundamentally disconnected from the financial markets. The supply is fixed, and the opportunity is around the composability and openness of those protocols. You're leveraging a global community to maintain a complex ecosystem instead of a single company as a single point of failure. I personally have made a career in the past 6 years in this technology, so I might be a little bit biased. I personally don't think crypto is going away. I feel like most research analysts and traders have long positions in Bitcoin and ETH as a safe haven. There's still regulatory risk, but it has become recognized as a long opportunity for institutions to create services for high net worth clients. Even if your company doesn't want to participate, maybe there's a market where you can create a legitimate service for diversifying against existential threats of a recession. So I split this into direct and indirect exposure. The first 15 list is for direct exposure. 1. Buy cryptocurrencies. For institutions, this could be adding custody of crypto to corporate banking books. Retail investors can buy through exchanges like Coinbase and Gemini, depending on where they live. There's a heavily tiered KYC system here because the trades are reported to the IRS, and depending on your trade amount, you might have to fill out some forms for taxes. 2. Buy and sell cryptocurrency pairs. So this could be watching the BTC ETH pair. Once you do own crypto, you can play FX, or kind of this foreign exchange between these different coins. There's a lot of shitcoins out there, so think of these as risky penny stocks and Ponzi schemes, but if you filter through those, you'll find some legitimate altcoins. 3. Create a cryptocurrency trading desk, maybe a separate company to protect your existing work. Every major financial institution that I know of has spun off some type of separate legal entity trading desk and hired 1 or 2 traders. I think Goldman started theirs in 2015. 4. Buy and sell futures contracts. So the CME launched their futures for Bitcoin in around 2017, and I think ETH will launch their futures in the next month or so. 5. Build algorithms for arbitrage between exchanges. Arbitrage strategies have existed for a long time because market prices across multiple exchanges vary. It just depends on who's providing your order book. It's tricky and may be costly per transaction, so it's usually not a primary strategy. 6. Start a cryptocurrency exchange or sell software for a white label product that is an exchange. There's only a handful of exchange companies that build everything from scratch. People usually reuse custody solutions or pick the best-in-class setup. So software architects like myself would review different combinations of tech in order to figure out what's the most cost-effective and secure solution, so you have to build the least and maybe buy something off the shelf. 7. Start a crypto hedge fund. If you pull together money from friends and start managing their money on their behalf, you more or less become a fund manager with risk obligations. There's probably a price around this. I think it's up to $1 million or a few $100,000. There's a lot of overhead requirements for this, so if you start advertising or selling these services, then you're definitely going to be regulated. But it becomes more complicated if you have to layer in taxes on top of this and make sure that the accounts that execute your trades are reflected for your individual retail clients. 8. Create a crypto hedge fund partnership. If your company doesn't want to start your own hedge fund, you can recommend high net worth clients or family office clients to other partners in a reseller agreement. 9. Stake tokens into a network. So staking is essentially locking up your current token into a contract that provides you with an upside, such as dividend payments or voting rights for governance. 10. Invest in a mining operation. Mining within proof of work is not very climate friendly. It takes a lot of energy to do the validation, and the numbers are actually pretty scary when you look at the power being spent on Bitcoin and ETH validations. Miners also heavily invest in software that allows them to diversify validations across multiple blockchains and converting to rebalance their portfolio where needed. 11. Create a test net with other institutions for a region-wide sandbox. So I've found central bank digital currency payments, use cases, and different types of investments into building those off-chain applications needed to connect to that CBDC is pretty important. This direct exposure is really your investment into infrastructure to support the experimentation on top of the underlying technology. 12. Provide services for doing direct-to-blockchain issuances. There's a little plug here for one of our products that helps with issuing tokens that represent the underlying value of your asset. The idea of tokenization is just digitally reskinning the asset given the same legal representation. So you would do a simple special purpose vehicle and provide those shares and use that custodian to make sure that there's no double encumbrance or double collateral use of that asset. 13. Build top-of-stack applications or dApps. If you're a coder, the composability of these smart contracts provides endless open APIs for you to experiment on top of. You can write your smart contracts directly or do the Web 2.0 mashup thing where you just pull a bunch of APIs together. 14. Create a custody, treasury, and tax management system. A large institution that eventually wants to hold cryptocurrency and provide this exposure to their clients will need to worry about security and balancing factors for distributing these tokens. And 15, participate in DeFi with loans and derivatives. A more advanced company may look at decentralized finance or DeFi and invest into different protocols that allow for new marketplaces. The next section is indirect exposure. So to me, this means you're not holding any of the cryptocurrency in your own wallet directly, but you're looking at adjacent influences. 16, invest in a blockchain company through funding. A company may use their VC arm for investing into different blockchain startups at early stages. 17, buy a blockchain company. So you may do a merger, and here your company may find it beneficial to buy the software, the IP, the existing customers, and maybe the staff of that company in order to fill out a piece of the ecosystem. 18, invest in a VC that invests in blockchain initiatives. So to be once more removed, you can invest in VCs that have a portfolio of initiatives. This way you can benefit if they hit a unicorn. 19, invest in a portfolio of VCs that's diversified across multiple blockchain use cases and platforms. This gets a little bit more complicated, but it's like buying into an index fund or an ETF of VCs, and these are all long blockchain investments. So there's examples of these for specific industries. For example, the ARC genomics ETF or the MJ stock portfolios. You can invest in these in a private market. It's not for retail investors, so this is more if you have institutional money. 20, create a consortium across multiple industries to solve a business problem. I personally think consortiums are way too hard to form and too slow to launch, but they could be beneficial for finding some common grounds with your competitors or your partners and using technology as a bridge. 21, fund hackathons and their business case focuses. So industry conferences usually have some hackathons that highlight different businesses, and that could be up-and-coming fintech innovations that you may apply to your own business. 22, participate in hackathons. A strong tech team could look at multiple hackathons for ideas that might be useful to their underlying product. 23, companies can invest money into internal hackathons and provide some key use cases so your employees can build projects that might turn into products. 24, buy blockchain software. Software is already live and being used, and it's no longer an experimentation if you're connecting to these real payment systems. You can buy software that makes the issuance, asset management, and investment side much easier. 25, buy blockchain-based modules to existing software. A good strategy for building out your software to be blockchain compatible would be to carve out an API that helps you connect to these different networks of value. 26, join a partner/affiliate program for reselling software. Our Consensus Partner Program has reseller agreements for our software in the partner network. 27, buy stocks in companies that are building digital asset strategies. Some companies just change their name to have blockchain in the title. Try to avoid those. Others are a little bit more subtle. This is not investment advice, but I think Overstock with 0x, Mara, and to some extent DocuSign has made some big bets here. I think this will be a year of crypto-based IPO listings like Coinbase, so it's going to be pretty exciting. 13. Buy stocks in companies that are industry adjacent, like cryptocurrency mining hardware. I'm personally a big fan of AMD, but maybe proof of stake will make some changes to that. And 29. Join a standards foundation to stay involved in relevant working groups. For example, joining the EEA or Enterprise Ethereum Alliance or Hyperledger Foundation. And finally, 30. Write an RFP for someone else to suggest a solution for your business problem. These requests for proposals are really easy ways for a company to collect multiple business solutions, and they're usually very thorough responses for any type of production-ready applications. In my opinion, most retail users like you and me who have a few $1,000s to even a few $100,000 would better off just be doing a direct purchase of Bitcoin or ETH through an exchange. Once you're in the ecosystem, you can experiment with utility rather than investment aspect. Buy some non-fungible tokens or NFTs, play some games. You'll learn how the user experience is different here and how you're fully in control. I'm personally bullish in the market again and have been passively trading since 2012. So this is not investment advice, but I do love the space. Apologies for the longer post and probably less relevant for retail users, but I thought it was an interesting list of 30. On the next episode, I'll talk about the pandemic a little bit more and its impact on the new normal. Stay tuned for that on Wednesday. Music is by Kristen Dye. You can find her on Instagram at Iron and Silver. She has videos of incredible duets and also powerlifting. You can subscribe to the newsletter and see a very transparent set of Google Docs and spreadsheets of this podcasting journey at listsof30.com. Thank you for listening, and I hope everyone stays safe.